Your first look at high school football scores and highlights. This is First Down Friday Night. Sponsored by Whataburger, Dryer Vent Squad, your Community Health Mart Pharmacy, and V2EDI. Now your hosts, Mo Carter, Nick Kuzma, and Simon Williams.
What's going on, everyone? Week 8 of the high school football season presented us some stupendous head-to-head matchups across the valley, and we'll bring you the best of it right here on First Down Friday Night. I'm Mo Carter. I'm solo in the dolo because we've got our Cover 2 package rolling on this evening. Nick Kuzma and Simon Williams are at some big games this evening. Of course, we will hear from those guys coming up just a little later on. But look, let's go ahead and just get straight into the highlights. We'll start in Class 7A, where the magic number was 1 for the Austin Black Bears. All they need is just one more victory, and they will claim the region title. Now, no plays in this game until 3 minutes left in the first quarter. Rashawn Hardy going down the sideline. He hits KJ Fields. First down, Bob Jones. Then the drive is capped off by this Hardy. The KJ Fields touchdown. Extra point was blocked. Bob Jones on top, 6-0. The drive, it would be capped off, obviously, as we just saw right there, by that touchdown. But Austin, they would respond. De'Air Young fires a laser across the middle to Nicholas Creighton. Touchdown, Black Bears, and all of a sudden, they're on top 7-6 because they made their extra point. But there was enough time for Bob Jones to make some things happen. Hardy going deep. He's got a man. Quentin Hubbard comes up with a big catch in Austin territory with about 20 seconds to go in the half. That would lead to this. Tyron Washington, the big bowling ball, says, "Get off me," as I get into the end zone right here. The extra point was no good. So it's 12-7 at the break as you check out all of the lights at Madison City School Stadium. Let's check out your final score from this big 7A matchup. As it's Austin, it comes all the way back, and they win 28-26. So with the victory, they secure the top spot in Region 4 of Class 7A. On next week, it'll be Austin taking on Huntsville in the region finale, while Bob Jones will travel out to Albertville. All right, so Florence, they had an outside chance at getting first place, but now they're trying to hold on to second. Taking on the Grissom Tigers last night at Brawley Stadium. Pick things up early. Leo Glover calling his own number, and he'll score from 4 yards out. Touchdown Falcons. They fly out to a 7-0 lead. Later on, still in the first, Demarion Vaughn, he takes the rock, he runs over a man, and he won't be stopped as he gets into the end zone for another touchdown. Florence on top, 14-0. Things would go from bad to worse for the Grissom Tigers. Punting in their own territory, the Falcons block the punt, and they recover it, and they take over with solid field position at the 12-yard line. That eventually would lead to this. Leo Glover throwing the fade route to the back of the end zone. Jalen Simpson there for the touchdown, and all of a sudden it's 21-0. If we're playing video games, Grissom would have to get off the stick. Now the Florence defense coming up big too. Javarius Abernathy with the scoop and the score. He takes the 23-yard for a touchdown, 28-0 at that point. Florence, let's check out your final scores. Florence rolls on to a 41-6 victory over Grissom in this matchup. Now next week, Florence, they will finish out region play with Sparkman, while Grissom will take on James Clements. What about some Thursday night action? Huntsville and Sparkman, they're in a race for one of the final spots in Region 4 with the playoff. Sparkman gets off going offensively early on. Along the drive, sets up a short pass from Josh Ward to Matthew Rozier for about 5 yards out. He takes it the rest of the way. Rozier puts Sparkman on the board. After 5 red zone plays, it's 7-0 after the extra point. Next time down, Sparkman has the ball. Later in the quarter, they try for a big game. Ward drops back, throws it deep to Rozier, but Rodarius Hardy makes the play for Huntsville, the INT right there. Huge play. But a few plays later, Sparkman, they will return the favor at the 5-yard line of Huntsville. They bring the sweep to the left, but nearly the whole Sparkman defense swarms and comes up with a loose ball, everyone. So Sparkman's going the other way. So next drive now, it's Sparkman. They would make them pay as Ward steps back in the pocket. He's got all the time in the world. He's looking deep, and he finds Carmelo Montgomery, and that guy's got some hands, and he takes it to the house 30 yards for a touchdown right here. 14-0 Sparkman at that point, although actually rushed the quarterback as well. Sparkman controlled this game. Let's check out your final score in this one as Sparkman rolled into Milton Frank Stadium last night and goes on to win by a final of 55-14. They'll host Florence next week, and with the loss, Huntsville has now dropped 2 in a row. They're 4-4 as they head into next week's game at Austin. All right, let's move down a classification or two. How about Fort Payne? They can clinch second place in their district tonight with the win. They were in Newmarket taking on Buckhorn. Wildcat strikes first. Caden DuBose takes the handoff, goes off tackle, and it's a foot race, everyone. Nobody's going to catch him. 57-yard touchdown for Fort Payne and DuBose. Fort Payne on top, 7-0. Now, Buckhorn, they would respond. Shamarian Landrum takes the handoff up the gut, and he powers his way across the goal line for a score. We got a tie ball game at 7 apiece. Now, Fort Payne, though, with time winding down in the half. Wildcats at the 1. Jake Bourne, the QB, sneak up the middle. Touchdown, Fort Payne. Right here, everybody. 14-7 was your score at that point. Let's check out your final score from Buckhorn this evening, and that ends up being your final score, boys and girls. Fort Payne goes on to win by a final 14-7. They had a late interception in the red zone to secure this victory. Next week, Fort Payne, they'll take on Athens, while Buckhorn will travel across the river to take on Decatur. All right, of course, the Fox 54 sports team, they're on social media. Follow yours truly at Mo Carter Fox 54. Follow Nick Kuzma at Nick P. Kuzma. And follow Simon Williams, Simon H.S. Williams. Hey, shoot us a tweet. We've got about 24 minutes in which you can go ahead and send it to us, and we'll read it out loud. All right, we'll take our first sports media timeout. Up next, we will head out to the Sand Mountain area for a huge game. It's a battle of top 10 teams between Fife and Pisgah. Stay tuned. We've got that coming up next. Hey everyone, and welcome back. Now, Pisgah and Fife, they've got some history. However, that history, well, it ended in recent times back in 2005, and those two teams have not played ever since then. But that all changed this evening as both squads are ranked in the top 10 of their respective classifications. A huge region matchup going on tonight, especially first place on the line between these two squads out in the Sand Mountain area. So for this battle, we got to go ahead and send it out to the Sand Mountain area where our very own Simon Williams is standing by. Simon, did you see a lot of red tonight, my friend?
Yeah, a whole lot of red. I mean, the guys were basically wearing the same helmets. It was all red with just maybe one black stripe that really differentiated it all. But the play on the field differentiated itself quite early. Now, you said it was a top 10 matchup between these ranked foes, but it really didn't look like it as the game would continue. First place in the standings was on the line, and with 2 weeks to go in the regular season, you know, you could basically lock up the region title with a win. Let's roll the highlights.
The battle of unbeatens got underway with both fan sections bringing the energy. The home Eagles start with it, but turn it over on downs. That gives Fife the room they need to put together a short drive, which ends in a Logan Anderson rushing touchdown. The next Fife drive ends pretty similarly. Another Anderson inside rush for the score. He's the tallest player on the team at 6'1", but he's the team's best back. Pisgah would put together their best drive on this fourth possession. Here, QB Luke Gilbert turns garbage into gold, rolling left, reversing field, rolling right, escapes, and shoots up the left hash. He gets a first down out of it. Later that drive, Gilbert finds the little guy at the goal line with a touchdown. Fife closes out the second half strong, pushing down the field with more interior runs. 24 gets his number called on this second and goal play. They hand it off to Anderson, who takes a couple steps before getting the touchdown. But Pisgah's special teams shows resolve. After a false start on Fife, the Devils are backed up a few more yards, and their two-point conversion play is stuffed. Caden Hawkins is fired up after his unit makes a big play. But Fife would respond to close the half with a forced fumble and score.
And that was it that we got out of Pisgah. Just 6 points on the night. Our final score was 40-6. Fife does all the damage they need to in the first half to keep this game locked up and showed exactly the same format throughout the second half. A ton of inside runs, quarterback sneaks, and RPO kind of looks. But there's something to be noted here about Pisgah. They were down their starting quarterback. Their number one wide receiver had to play QB and were out 2 offensive linemen on the interior. So it wasn't the full picture in terms of the players available for Pisgah. But, you know, a loss is a loss. And with the win, Fife now moves to 7-0 overall on the year, and maybe more importantly, 6-0 in the 2A Region 7, and they now sit in first place with 2 weeks remaining on the year and one more regional game to play. With the loss, Pisgah drops to 6-2. Next week, Fife hosts Eider, who is still yet to get a win in region play, and Pisgah welcomes Section in the region finales. So that'll do it for me here in Pisgah. Mo, our final score, 40-6. Fife with the win. Back to you.
All right, thank you so much, Simon. Appreciate that. The Fife machine rolls on. Priceville needed a win to force a winner-take-all region championship against Randolph, but the Wildcats of Westminster Christian roll it. Brandon Mush up the middle for a touchdown. Wildcats up 7-0. Then the Wildcats defense coming in with the action. Jackson Pickett seems to lose control of the ball. Wildcats all over it. The result on the other side is another Brandon Mush touchdown. All of a sudden, Westminster Christian's up 14-0. But don't count out those Bulldogs from Priceville. Mason Carty, another former First Down Friday Night MVP, with the carry around traffic to put the Bulldogs on the scoreboard. 2-point conversion was good as only 14-8. Then Jackson Prickett with the handoff to Jalen Mosley, and he will not be denied as number 4 makes a house call for 6 right here. They get a 2-point conversion. They go up 16-14 at that point. Let's check out your final score from this one, because I guarantee you did not see this coming. Priceville, 72 points tonight as they beat Westminster Christian by a final of 72-45. So, another game, Randolph beats New Hope 52-12. So next week, Priceville versus Randolph. Winner takes the region title. That's probably going to be our game of the week. I'm just going to let y'all know that right now. So congratulations to all those schools. And obviously, we've got some more football coming up next. We talked about the big matchup in Sand Mountain, but we also had some other matchups around the way. Stay tuned for more highlights from around the Tennessee Valley on First Down Friday night. Hey everybody, welcome back. Week 8 of the high school football season. As we've been talking, a lot of teams either trying to punch their ticket to the postseason, they're trying to get those home games, they're trying to win those region championships. And obviously a lot of teams, they're just trying to fight to have a good rest of their season because they're already out of playoff contention. We had kind of a similar situation like that tonight. Milton Frank Stadium with May Jemison. Obviously, it's been a tough season for that bunch. They were taking on Hazel Green, a squad that will definitely be on their way to the postseason, but still has to try to figure out some things. We'll pick things up here on third down. Fallon Griffin hands it off to Armand Caldwell, and watches Caldwell outraces the Jaguar defense, and he is gone for a touchdown. Extra point was good, so the Trojans, they led 7-0. Now, on the Jaguars' first play from scrimmage, Zamarian Mitchell will try to throw the ball across the middle, but unfortunately he is picked off by Caden Mays, and you got to give credit to him right there because he literally high-pointed that entire ball on the interception. Now, a few plays later, it'll be Fowler finding Timothy Finley, and this guy is wide open in the back of the end zone for a score. The extra point was no good. Trojans up 13-0 at that point. Now, later on in the first, Jemison will come through. They'll get an extra blocker from the rest, but it does not matter here. And 2 plays later, Andrew Delgado hauls the ball and takes it to the house as we are, I guess I'm ahead of myself right there. But let's check out your final scores. Hazel Green all over May Jemison tonight in a shutout victory. So next week, Hazel Green, they'll take on Arab, while May Jemison, they've got a bye before they wrap up their season in week 10. All right, we mentioned Hazel Green is going to be taking on Arab. How about the Arabian Knights tonight with a chance to win the region outright, taking on Gunnersville? Now, the Knights, they were knocking on the door. Drake Franklin takes the handoff, and he will score from a few yards out. 7-0 Arab on top. Later on, it's 10-3 Arab. Gunnersville with the ball. Eli Morrison tries to throw the quick slant, but John Ray Wilkes reads it perfectly and makes the interception, makes the house call, 42 yards for an Arab touchdown. 17-3 Knights on top. Time winding down in the first. Arab's drive stall, so Will Kinnear comes on, boots in the 20-yard field goal. It is up and it is good. 20-3 Arab at that point. Let's check out your final score from the land of the Arabian Knights. They go on to win by a final of 34-20. Congratulations to Arab for their region success. On next week, Hazel Green will take on Arab, while Gunnersville will make a short trip over to take on Sardis. All right, boys and girls, we're still having fun here on First Down Friday night. We've got more stuff coming up. Stay with us. We'll be right back. And welcome back, everyone. Each week we recognize outstanding performances on our weekly First Down Friday Night MVP Award segment. This week's award goes to someone who was nominated by a viewer and plays a different variation of football here in North Alabama. Nick Kuzma has more.
Did you know that there is high school six-man football here in Alabama? Well, now you do.
Six-man football is just like high school football. It's full contact tackle. With the exception that you have to have 3 men on the line of scrimmage. Everybody's eligible for a pass.
There are a few other differences too, as the field is 80 yards in length instead of 100, a field goal is 4 points instead of 3, and after you score a touchdown, making a PAT gives you 2 points, while running a normal play results in 1.
It is Iron Man football. You better be in shape because, you're going full speed, running an 80-yard touchdown one play, you're tackling on the next play.
This is the second year in existence for Pineview Christian Academy. The school, located in Harvest, has 13 players on the roster, so most guys are on the field for every play. And last week, the Warriors defeated Marshall Christian Academy 42-6 with the Alabama Christian Football Association state playoffs on the horizon.
I woke up knowing that we needed to win this game so we get that #1 seed, because I would much rather play 20 minutes down the road than 3 hours away.
PCA did secure the #1 seed, and at the center of it all was Nick Moon. The junior rushed for 170 yards and 4 touchdowns, and then on defense, he recorded a sack, 16 tackles, and also recovered a fumble.
It was like I realized at the end of the game, but at the end of the day, I was just mostly happy we got the win. I realized it, and I was like, yeah, that was actually a really good game. I was happy we won most of all.
For his efforts, Moon has been named the First Down Friday Night MVP of the Week, brought to you by Whataburger. Moon is one of the few guys on his team that's been playing football for a while. He started in 2012 with Flag and actually went to and played at Sparkman Middle and High School before transferring to PCA. And Coach Roger Hillis says Moon has a bright future.
He is actually being recruited now. There are several colleges interested in him. He's going to make some visits here in the fall. So we're excited about his future.
In Harvest, Nick Kuzma, Fox 54 Sports.
Thanks, Nick. Now, nominations are open. Just send an email to news@rocketcitynow.com. You can also head to the MVP section on the sports page at fox54.com. It's a simple process, everyone. We just need the player's name, the school, the position, stats from the last game, and obviously the award. It's sponsored by Whataburger. All right, everyone, let's take a look at some scores from around the way on this evening. Sheffield all over Starktown, James Clemens all over Albertville. Let's take a look at some other ones as we kind of roll through some stuff. And don't worry, we still got some other scores and games coming your way. Russellville big over Ardmore, West Morgan, all over East Lawrence this evening. All right, everyone, I'm being told that we need to get out of that or whatever, because here's the situation. Nick Kuzma, he actually traveled down to Morgan County this evening. Big game between Hartselle and Decatur, and I'm hearing that he is available right now. Nick, you there, my friend? Oh, okay. We're going to go to the package first, then we'll hear from him afterwards.
Hosted Addison in a non-region game, and Falkville started out firing. On the first play of the game, it is caught. Blue Devils in great position to take the lead right away. But nothing comes after it because there is a sack on 4th down. On the ensuing Addison drive, Falkville swarms. They're all over the quarterback. He still threw those the ball, and it's intercepted. Blue Devils going the other way. But nothing will come of that either, as once again, Falkville gets the ball back, but they make a huge mistake giving the ball away. Addison with the INT this time. Addison going to eventually punch it in, though. They scored from just a few yards out. Let's take a look at that final score. We now travel just about 10 minutes to Hartselle. Coach Brian Moore's Tigers, 1 win away from a region title. It's 21-7 now, and Decatur with a chance to get some late points, but the field goal is no good. 21-7 was the score at the half. The Red Raiders force a punt to start the half, but the Tigers make a huge play defensively. It's picked. They go back almost the entire way to the end zone, but a late tackle prevents that. Doesn't matter, as Jack Smith calls his own number, takes the snap, goes in for 6, so the lead grows to 27-7 because the PAT was was no good. Decatur gets the ball back. It's do or die. 3rd and 7. Ellis Dickman drops back, hits Jaden Brown. Touchdown Decatur, and there is life, or at least it may have felt like that, because Hartselle gets the ball back, drives down the field, and Smith once again goes in from short. Hartselle is the champion of 6A Region 7.
But we can tell you what the scores were for this one. Addison, they went ahead and they beat Falkville tonight by a final of 20-7. And the other big game down there in Morgan County this evening, it was Hartselle all over Decatur this evening by a final score of 41-14. So with that victory, Hartselle goes on to win the region title. So here's what we're going to do, everyone. We want to thank you for checking us out right here on First Down Friday night. We'll leave you with some more final scores. We will see you guys next week for Week 9 action. Have a good evening.
First Down Friday Night is sponsored by Whataburger, Dryer Vent Squad, your Community Health Mart Pharmacy, and B2 EDI.